Plaintiff Allana Holmes says she tried to return the defendant's lost dog, but when she tried to claim the reward money, the defendant told her she was barking up the wrong tree. She's suing for $1,000. Defendant Robin Walls claims the plaintiff scooped up her beloved dog and demanded a $1,000 reward for its safe return. She says she owes the plaintiff nothing.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. I do.
Thank you. Witnesses, you may have a seat. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Nudge. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Good.
This is case number 035 on the docket, Holmes versus Wall.
Okay, welcome to all of you. Let's see what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Allana Holmes.
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Robin Walls, for $1,000 for, would you say, unpaid reward for finding her missing dog.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, what is your case?
On Christmas afternoon, December 25th of last year,
Yes.
I was making breakfast. We hear something at our door, like making like whining noises, like and scratching. So it's like, hey, what is that? And my dog's sniffing. So as we open my porch door to go outside, you can see there's a puppy on my stairs. So I said to him, I said, hey, where did this come from? Like whose dog is this? I was like, there's no tags on it or nothing like that. So he was like, hey, bring it in the house because it's shaking. It's really, really cold outside. So I bring it in the house. I get like a warm blanket. I wrap it in a blanket. I tell the kids, I said, don't touch the dog yet. I said, let's warm the dog up first. We got to find out what's going on, like whose dog this is.
Just shift to you for a moment. What was your Christmas day like?
My Christmas day was terrible last year. I woke up and it was in the morning around 10 a.m. and everyone's opening presents as they do on Christmas Day. My dog, her name is Honeybee, actually, and I'm looking for her because she has Christmas presents under the tree. And I'm just like, I can't find my dog. I don't know where she's at. I asked my sister. My sister said she took her out on Christmas Day, and then she came inside to get her phone and came back outside, and she wasn't outside. So immediately I had like a panic attack because my dog is literally like my child.
Yeah.
So like immediately we were all, a whole family's at my mom's house. We were all outside. Our whole Christmas day is ruined. We're all outside looking for this dog. We looked for from starting at 10 a.m. for about 5 hours. In the dead of winter, it was freezing cold. So I was devastated. Like I was crying.
What kind of dog are we
She's a miniature dachshund. She's chocolate and tan. So we were looking for her. We looked in the apartment complex. We knocked on every single door. We also went around into the neighborhood and we came up with nothing. We called the dog pound. Dog pound was open. They said they didn't get any dogs turned in today. I called animal control. They were closed on Christmas Day, but I was like told maybe just call back tomorrow. So I called every day, every day for the next 11 to 10 days for this dog at every surrounding dog pound and also animal control. I made a Facebook post that went viral. I made flyers. I hung them all around the town.
We now know that you, in fact, had the dog. The dog.
She didn't turn the dog into any pound for the next 11 days.
At least we now know that the dog wasn't injured, or during this 11-day period, you pick up the story. And you are her husband?
Yes, I am.
And you're?
Sean.
Sean, okay.
I went to walk the dog early in the morning and, found the dog on the steps. So, the kids are all excited in the background. They're thinking it's, puppy for Christmas, obviously, without a bow on it. To fast forward to the 10, 11 days later, a coworker of mine actually saw a posted picture of the dog at the store. But he also said that he had made contact with the owner of the dog.
With the owner of the dog?
Yes.
Okay.
And that he shared my information.
They said that they knew someone who had the dog. He wouldn't give me much information, like of where they live or how to contact them. But then later on, he did give me their contact information. He gave me a number and said, bring cash with you, good luck, make sure you have the police there. So I was kind of thrown.
Good luck and bring cash. There was no text that I saw saying good luck, bring cash. Like, it was a volatile situation at all.
Doesn't matter what he saw.
So I have no idea what this is brand new news.
So you basically talked to her. You now know
I
it
ended
was
up
her
speaking,
No,
yes.
I did not ever speak to him at first on the phone. My initial contact was
So you
with her.
two had a phone conversation.
We did.
What was that about?
Returning the dog back to her. I told her that we got the dog. The dog's been taken care of. The dog was fine. That day, I was with my mother. My mother had gotten hurt, so I had to check on her. And I told her that I was not home yet. And when I got home, that I was going to give her a call and I was going to meet up with her. Because where she lives at, we don't live too far.
Yeah.
They live 2 minutes away.
As far as I know, a reward wasn't even spoken on when
That was the
they
first thing
talked.
spoken on. That was the first thing spoken
So-
on.
At least at this point, there's some relief on your side because the dog is alive and somebody has it,
Yeah.
and you're in contact with the people that have it.
This is the flyer.
And this is the flyer. Okay, so the flyer says missing chocolate tan dachshund, last seen on Christmas Day, the number to call, and huge reward, and then the dollar signs up there. And you're saying you haven't gotten the reward
Your
yet?
Honor.
No. What were the communications regarding the reward that is at least offered on the sign that was put up there, on the flyer?
In our conversation, once the dog was returned, the $1,000, I would get the $1,000 reward.
Who said $1,000?
Robin did.
When I first called her, there was no answer. Then she texted me saying, hello, I have your dog, and that was like the initiation. And it seemed really friendly until I got a phone call, and I had her on speaker in front of my whole family, and this is when it was more of a shady situation. She was like, I just want to make sure she's going back to a good home. The reward said, huge reward, and it looks like about $1,000. And I was like, I was actually really thinking about giving about $50, only put the huge dollar signs to make sure, like, if someone stole the dog, the only way they would give it back to me is if they thought they were getting a cash. Yeah, and the police also said that's a good thing to do that, but just put dollar signs, don't put any dollar amount on there.
Okay.
So after that, in the phone call, she was like, well, if you can't afford to give me $1,000 to return the dog, how can you afford such an expensive dog? And how do I know that this dog is coming back to a good home?
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, I have text messages with her saying that if the money is what you really want, we will pay you the $1,000 for her, but I need my dog back.
Okay, if money's really what you want, this is me like pleading for my dog.
You do say in the flyer that there's a money reward.
There's a huge reward for whoever returned the dog.
A
Did
huge
she
reward.
return the dog? No, she didn't return the dog. I ended up having to do a background check using their phone numbers after I told her that police would be involved in the handoff. I was like, okay, so if you want to really return the dog, I will pay you, but the police will be involved. And she refused. She hung up the phone. She said, you know what? My kids love this dog. I've already bought a bed and a collar. You know what? I think she's better at home with me. And she hung up in my face. There was no return. I had to stake outside her house and wait for their neighbor to come outside. Honey was in the foyer of the apartment building barking. He just opened the door. She ran out, and I left.
That is not what happened at all. The dog wasn't in the foyer barking or anything like that. She's saying that, you know, they were going to offer $50. Nobody puts a huge reward up there with a bunch of dollar signs.
Me and her had a conversation. I explained to her, look, I'm contacting you about your dog. We have our own dog. I've had my dog for years. And if something like this happened to my dog, I would pray that somebody would return my dog.
That was
I'm
not the
contacting
tone
you
on the
to
phone.
get your dog.
Okay.
And it's
For you to get your
so to
dog.
think that as a pet owner, you know, that I'm running around neighborhoods, and she's running
Yeah.
around neighborhoods, and we're just scooping dogs
We
off the
saved
street
your
that
dog.
look worth, you
Your
know.
dog could have been
Okay.
hit by a
It just
car.
makes no sense.
Like, we literally saved your dog.
Honey Beyonce.
It's an insult.
That's her name.
It's
Honey
an insult.
Beyonce.
She showed up with the
Not
cops
just
at
some
the
dog.
door.
That's my baby.
She
How
showed
would
up
you
with the
feel if
cops.
one of your kids went missing?
The
All
cops
right.
didn't even come
All
to,
right, hang on.
didn't even come to the
I,
door.
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay,
No.
Judge is
stop.
speaking now.
Okay. The dog has been returned, but I don't think there's any question. You put out a flyer because you wanted your dog back. It got sloppy, but you got your dog back. They didn't steal your dog. They found it.
I don't know.
and
They're
apparently,
witnesses
you're
who saw it.
interrupting.
Sorry.
The dog came to their home, and the dog has been taken care of, and they were in touch with you, so obviously they weren't trying to steal the dog. There's no record in this person's life. You know, he goes around stealing dogs.
Your Honor,
Yes,
good morning, first of all.
morning.
I'm the sister here.
yes.
First of all, the dog would not run away out of the apartments. We
get
have
that
left her
far.
outside, you know, in the past. She's lived there for about 2 years, maybe. The whole neighborhood knows her. The children around know her. When she went missing, everyone's outside yelling, "Honey, honey!" It was cute. It was nice. There's no way the dog could have walked to the back street and got
It's a
taken.
2-minute drive, but the
She
walk
doesn't live in our apartments. I
Caligula
could see
exists.
if this woman stayed in our apartments. She does not, sir.
Since you all have different stories, it may very well be that everything you're saying is exactly how it happened. But it may also be that everything that happened is how you said it happened. So I can only, in a court of law, I can only go by what the evidence that both sides have presented to me. Let me hear your evidence.
Exhibit B is text messages.
Okay, I got Exhibit B.
I'm the blue column. She's the white column.
Okay, so you said in this text, which was Saturday, January 4th at 9:47 in the
Yes.
morning.
Good morning. My husband's coworker told my husband that we have your dog, and there is a reward for her. If I may ask, how much is it? I can bring her to you. I have been taking really good care of her. My kids love her. We've gotten her a bed and a harness. My husband walked around door to door asking if anybody knew whose home she belonged to, but nobody knew.
And then the defendant answered, if money is what you really want, we'll pay you. We're offering $1,000 for her, but I need my dog back. So in this text, at least, you are saying that you were offering $1,000 for her. You may not have been happy about that.
No, because
but
at
you need to-
1:22, she called me and demanded the $1,000, and then I replied, okay, because she hung up and
Okay.
said,
Oh,
"If no
I-
money, you're not getting the dog back."
It was so cordial when we talked back and forth. Me and her personally talked back and forth through the text and everything. It was a God bless you, thank you for finding my dog. You know, and in the future, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the
was
the kids can
pretending to
see
be
the
someone
dog.
else through these texts.
She states,
Ma'am, you have to
she
stop
states
interrupting.
that
Stop
possibly the dog could be having puppies, and that she would get back to us in the summer about having a puppy and possibly giving us a puppy. I said I would talk to my wife about that. It was still cordial. That's why I don't understand where this is coming from. She said, I told her, I
you
said,
can
my
buy
wife
a
does
dog
not
like
You were
agree.
everyone else.
interrupting again. How many times do I tell you that?
Yeah, I said my wife does not agree with waiting for the dog.
If I could put that flyer up on the board again, the thing which gets me about the flyer is you put huge reward with a whole bunch of exclamation. So it's not just a reward, you said huge reward. And when I look at those dollar signs, there can be a misinterpretation of what one family considers as, to some people, $50, $100 is huge. To another family, it's
But
not.
I'm
I
sorry.
get it.
Okay.
But when you put up $4 signs and there is a comma there, that comma, the only way those dollar signs make any sense with a comma there is that it's at least $1,000. Otherwise, you don't put the comma there.
But you also have to return the dog
I-
to get that amount. And it was
I
refused
got it.
to return the dog.
We didn't refuse
And the
anything.
police
But
said,
they,
yeah.
okay,
Refuse anything.
Right now, the
okay.
judge is speaking. No one is talking.
I just wanna-
And not
it's a gentleman.
interrupting, man. You're not talking right now. The judge is speaking.
Someone representing them, either them or
He
the
didn't
co-
represent them. He made it
whoever,
clear
the
that he
call-
wasn't
Yeah,
a part of them.
You're interrupting. Please stop. Just stop talking.
It's just that this is
I
an emotional
know.
case. I know it's not emotional for you, but it's emotional for me.
I get it, but you're in a court of law.
Okay.
Virtually everyone watching this courtroom understands the horror of losing your pet. I'm not belittling that at all. I'm saying you got advice to put up this sign.
Yeah.
The good news is you've got your dog.
advice.
That's the good news.
I had to get it though. I
You-
should be
you
I
could-
should get the reward for
There
turning the
you
dog
go.
to myself.
Okay.
Ma'am, you're not speaking. Stop talking.
Now, I understand you then, once you get the dog back, you're thinking, she hung up on me when I said $50, because in your mind, you may not have been thinking 1,000, even though she had every reason to believe that it would be at least 1,000. That's what your sign said, and that's what you wrote in the text, that you're willing to pay it, even though you primarily want the dog back. But it isn't as if, even though you went over there to get it because they hadn't dropped it off yet, it isn't as if they were on the run. You wouldn't know where the dog was.
No,
It was the next day. They didn't move.
She flat out
You-
refused, Your Honor. That's
you-
my whole point. She flat out refused to return the dog and said, you know what, my kids love this dog. I already bought her so-and-so.
Where
I'm keeping
is the
dog.
text?
I gave you call logs where she
I
didn't answer the
need
phone
some
calls.
evidence that she said she wasn't going to give.
I think also the evidence
Where
is
is
in,
the evidence that she said she wasn't going to give it back?
it was in a phone call.
Well, that's not.
That's how criminals get away with things. I feel like
Well,
that's why this witnesses seem so planned, and they also use fake names. There's evidence that they use fake names.
Like I said, it was an insult. She's speaking now like, you know, this criminal behavior, like we're criminal, that's what criminals do. You know what I mean? She came over there.
That is what
she
criminals
said that,
do.
She just said that
I
we
didn't even
needed
show up
money.
with police. I showed up by
Stop
myself.
speaking.
She's
man.
hijacking the whole thing.
Stop speaking.
Hijacking the whole conversation. She said that we needed, she
It
might
was
need
being
money
my
for
fidget
gas.
self. And these people are just pretending to be innocent
Okay,
victims.
based on the evidence before me that I
These Casey Anthony types.
Excuse me?
Casey Anthony types,
Hey,
types
you're
who
not-
stole
okay.
the dog, because you're
Judge-
gonna you
stop.
stole my dog. It is so
Judgment for the
disrespectful.
plaintiff
You are
in the
so
amount
wrong for
of
that.
Man, you can exit the
$1,000.
courtroom.
I will exit the courtroom. But you know what?
You can
God's
exit
gonna
the
get both of you. And I heard about your health problems too, and that's another thing about God.
We're happy that she received her dog. No hard feelings.
She stole a dog and then tried to pass it off as a Christmas present to her kids, talking about they had a late Christmas. No, your kids had nothing to wake up to on Christmas, and you tried to take my dog and give that as a Christmas present.